What is up, guys? It's GODZILLA 621, and I'm gonna be doing another Psycho review on, you know it, Godzilla, Force of Nature. So, Godzilla Force of Nature is a movie by Louis Duran, and in the past, he did Rise of Destruction, not really a good movie, but anyways, going into this movie, because it's the current time, you know, this movie was actually not bad.
Holy fuck!
It does have a lot of flaws with it still. I'll get into that later, but it is a pretty good fan film, honestly. I don't want to offend T-Rex Razor, but it's better than his films currently.
I'm a giant! This is my party!
I had to say that. I feel like Louis is rapidly advancing. By now, I would have just had me filming water scenes in like a pool when you could see my dad watering the gardens in the background. I'm not gonna make this review too long because most of you already know what the film is about, and I just want to give my thoughts and quick thoughts. Not a big Psycho review like the last one. I do like the Ebra scene. It begins with Ebra, a very lush green area, really cool. Obviously, you could tell it's a grass. You could see. I like that there's a blue background, but sometimes it casts an overshadow that is a bit too strong. Some shots with like the car and people stepping on the mud, that looks really good. One of the best shots in this movie is when you see Ebra's claw in the water. Green screen is actually, it's still bad, but it's actually gone pretty good. Like there's one shot where it actually kind of looks pretty real. But movie, that's like one of my favorite scenes. That's probably one of my only favorite scenes in the movie. You get the title, pretty generic like GMK, but the thing that I'm gonna have to start going into the flaws about is the hospital scene. And I don't want to bring any of my movies into this, but honestly, it literally like almost copied the exact same thing.
In this room, thinking every morning I'll die in here.
In this place, wishing I was at the lake, with no one around.
I'll leave your mind unharmed.
Just get out!
Now get out.
I do like the paper of the hospital in the background, but I wish it could have looked like his head is actually on the pillow. It looks like he's just sagging down, falling over. He used tissue paper for the cover of the bed. Not bad, but, wide shots like these, I don't recommend for the next one. I think only the zoom-up shots look pretty good, because honestly here you could see all, the cassettes. The lighting totally matches differently from the hospital. It's blue filter in the hospital, but in real camera, it's like a yellowish kind of tint. That's one thing he should fix on, the combining both lightings together. Then after that, they fight Ebra. Not a bad scene. Another one of my good scenes. Ebra dies a pretty bad death, and one of the main problems with this movie that I feel like I should address is that there's too many monsters, and the monsters that are picked out are very disorganized, I should say. The monsters, there's a lot, there's like 5 or some in this movie, like 10, counting the ones at the end of the movie. But here's the thing, if you're trying to make this movie serious, it doesn't really fit the tone. If you got a very serious Godzilla 2014, then you got a serious Muto, but then out of nowhere Ebra and Rodan comes out and they're kind of funky, they don't really match the seriousness of the newer movie, so it's kind of hard to show that in a newer film.
You couldn't be original!
So I feel like the monsters chosen in this movie aren't good. I think if it was just Ebra and Muto, that'd be pretty good. I get what he's trying to do here. Like, this movie has no character development at all, just people reacting to stuff happening in front of them. Not much going on. The only interaction is with the monsters, which is kind of creative. You don't really see that. I think Godzilla did that before, where you get Godzillas together and they just start communicating. That's really not... It's really rare in a fan film like this, so... I guess that's different. I guess we all have our different point of views of how we film things. I take more of a character side, try to have more character development, but he focuses more on monster development and putting the characters to the side, I guess. Some proportions, again, aren't good. Shots like with the car and the horse, they look really good, honestly. Voice acting could better use some work. I think Super Mario Godzilla is a pretty good choice. Maybe not as like the main character, though. There were only like one voice in there that actually sounded like, you know, old enough. The other ones, yes, they do sound old enough, but they just don't have much experience. Not shaming anyone here.
You, Leafy! You will be the one crying!
I just feel like they could have done way better. I feel like they could have done way better with the voice acting. Then out of nowhere, Godzilla and King Ghidorah just start fighting for no reason. Like, some of the scenes are very abrupt in this movie. That's another little problem. I like Godzilla's design back there, but I feel like he's just putting these Easter eggs like Louis Duran's Godzilla design back there. It looks pretty different from the one in the movie. I guess the lower jaw is very short, but it doesn't really matter. Green screen effects could definitely use some work. It's better than the last movie, but still... At least they're not GIFs, but they still need a lot of work. You could obviously see some of the horizon lines that are cut out of the like lightning effects and stuff like that. And another big problem in this movie is the boxes. Really, the boxes. I feel like I think I've seen people point this out before in the other reviews. The boxes, you got your address on there from the box days. I think that's not a right way to go. Every other Godzilla fan filmmaker is taking this way to where you take cube objects and you print out building textures online and just paste them on there. I think that's way better than having a Sharpie do everything and then at the end they don't even match up, and then having these boxes with your address on them. I just feel like that's not the way to go. Go with the building texture way. That's way better than this. Then out of nowhere, a bomb comes down. They fight. Fighting scenes, they're better. There's more like flying combat. Some of the lower shots and some of the lower angle shots are way better than the last one. The other one was just a lot of aerial shots. This one has like 20 or so shots in there out of like the 500 that are lower angle shots, and I think that's better than before. One of my my favorite thing in this movie is the glow effects for the spines. That looks really good. I know exactly how he probably did that. He probably lowered the temperature down to blue level. That's pretty creative. One of my favorite shots is when you see the shadow. Lighting is way better in this movie. Could, yeah, still use some work by just putting the lights down below instead of all above. Like the moon isn't that bright in night, so... Atomic bread, how it splits in 3 pieces, I guess creative. I mean, you don't really see that much. The explosions with the monsters look a lot like fireworks, obviously. I feel like you could have just switched out with a random explosion instead, not fireworks. Characters, again, they're just there just to watch stuff happen. I think Mario Zilla's the main character. He did a pretty good job, honestly. I think the other ones, they gotta do some work on it. But then, yeah, they just communicate, and that's the end. Or so is it. Then later is a scene with Mount Everest or just some snowy land. You see Biollante, Mothra's dead. Then you see Godzilla meet up with Shinguju. That's basically it, and this is a quick runtime of the movie. Basically, final thoughts on this. Definitely could use some work, but he's getting way better and better. Hopefully the next one you fix those problems, especially with the boxes, fix some of the lighting, fix the effects. I'm never good with effects. That's one thing he can kind of do well in some parts, but I just like to go in all practical. I kind of recommend that too. Just get some firecrackers, blow crap up. It's pretty fun too. I think it's better than just animating, just cropping out the explosions. I think that's way harder than just blowing up a literal firecracker in real life. So, I think I'd probably give it like a 5.8 out of 10. A lot of shots in this movie are great. He's definitely doing way better. I think this is a really high, just freaking good advancement from the last movie. Because the first movie, it's very much like, just like,
Sir, we have finished recovering the survivors from the U.S. Reagan.
Godzilla's Revenge. Yeah, I don't really got much more to say. That's really it. Fix all those problems. You still got a lot of problems. Fix the voice acting. There's a lot of good voice actors out there. I'm trying to get a lot of older voice actors now. I know the Gonzo is pretty good. Future Freshman's alright. Maybe Gyro Productions is also pretty good. I've heard some of his stuff. But yeah, that's it for this Psycho review. Not really in the mood because I'm out of breath because I just filmed a crazy video going out tomorrow. I want to put this review up for you guys before the day ends tonight. So yeah, that's it for the Psycho review. If you want a Psycho review on yours, ask me in the comments below. I might do one. I might do these like monthly, you know, just one a month. Space it out a little, you know. But yeah, that's it for this video. This is GODZILLA 621 signing out.